Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tommy D. Duncan III, otherwise known as TD3. It is Wednesday night, August the 27th, 2025. And if it is Wednesday night, it is definitely Black Men Speak. We'd like to welcome everyone and thank you for joining our show this evening. We have a lot of exciting stories to share with you today and some commentary as well. If you have not done so already, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Make sure that you like the content and share it with somebody who wants to be the smartest person in their network or their community or their household. And with that being said, we want to make sure that you continue to lift up your prayers, especially you prayer warriors out there for JR. He is on the backside of recovery, and he has been out for a couple of weeks. For those of you who watch the show regularly, you know, but we expect to see him back very soon. And we know when he's coming back with the fire. So continue to lift up Jim in your prayers so that he will be back pretty soon and we can start the show. However, in the meantime, we have another special guest for our show this evening. So for those of you who have seen our show before, you probably recognize this face, the Gregory Harrington. What's going on, bro?
TD, Tommy, what's up, Tommy?
Not much,
Brother Duncan in the building, man.
Absolutely. We want to thank you for joining us this evening, man. How's everything been going out there in Austin?
Man, you know, we just living a dream here in Austin, Texas, by way of Pflugerville. It's a little hot, but you know, that's just part of Austin. I don't know why people be complaining about it. It's gonna be hot today, it's gonna be hot tomorrow. But I tell you one thing, to all my people in the north, you're welcome. And nobody is holding y'all up there. Y'all can move. Y'all can't even go outside from September to April. So you're welcome to come on, move down here, because we don't want to go up there with the snow that's keeping us down. So outside of that, man, Austin's a great place to be, but we actually having a good time. You'll see that your boy running for mayor of Pflugerville. So
yes.
On the campaign trail, we can talk more about that. A lot of times, just don't even know what you don't know, but just following the passion that I already have for government and just for community. I think that's the biggest one. Following the passion for community, understanding what needs to be happening, be a feet on the street voice to those that may not have a voice. So that's what's really going on. But it's just less of us. You know, I'm just happy that I'm here, man. Yeah, there are other people for the people. That's so it.
There we go. That's the part of the content for Mayor of Pflugerville. So those of our listeners who are out there in Pflugerville or know people in Pflugerville, let them know that your boy is running for mayor. Let me ask, we'll take a few minutes. We got a lot of stories to talk about. Help us understand why you decided to run for mayor. It looks like he may have fallen off. So let me see what we got. There we go. We back.
Yeah, okay. There we go.
Yeah, share with us a little bit share with us a little bit about what inspired you to run for mayor.
Man, so the reality is that I feel that there's nothing against some of the guys who are running, but I just think we just solve problems differently. I think that's the biggest thing. Coming from, somebody who's been in the community, I feel like I've actually been one of the ones who've been in touch with the people. Nothing wrong with those guys. I just feel something like, to be honest with you, sometimes I just feel like they're out of touch. And so some of the policies that we put in place aren't really helping the real people. One of the biggest things I want to bring is public transportation. We're a city that has gotten to 67,000 people, and we don't have public transportation.
Really? So no public transportation as far, and for those of you who don't travel to the Austin area, you got a couple of areas. Pflugerville is just north of Austin.
Immediately north of Austin.
It has been growing quite a bit, and so there is no public transportation in Pflugerville, is what you're saying.
No public transportation. We're about 67, depending on which group you call it, 67 to 80,000 people, including extraterrestrial jurisdictions, so the ETJs. But at the end of the day, people need to get to work. People need to go to church, grocery store, doctor's appointment, hang out with friends. And sometimes they just simply don't have a vehicle. That shouldn't stop them from doing those basic things.
Maybe folks in Pflugerville think y'all balling. Y'all don't need no public transportation.
A part of that is it. And that's what I'm trying to press down. A part of it is that the haves are far too often thinking about themselves and not realizing that they got a whole lot of people who don't have vehicles. But the piece that's gonna blow your mind, check this part. You could be without a car in the blink of an eye. A mechanical failure, a car accident. Matter of fact, last year, my girlfriend, she had a wreck in her car, and we have insurance that covers rental car coverage, right?
You
30.
sound a little bit. You sound a little bit muffled. You were sounding pretty good, and just within the last 10 to 15 seconds, you started sounding muffled a little bit.
Man, I don't know what's going
Okay,
on.
okay. Now you're doing good. You're doing good now.
I don't know what's going on, so I'm gonna have
Okay.
to make sure I fix that. But long story short story long, we had an accident, and unfortunately, it took 3 months. So I thought that they were going to take care of us for the second month, and so we ended up having $1,100 out of pocket for the second month of car insurance. So we didn't have a car for that period of time. Fortunately, I had another car that we were able to use, put in rotation. But the reality of what about people that don't have just
Gotcha.
$1,100?
So outside of public transportation, what are the big problems that you would like to fix if you were elected mayor, other than the public transportation?
So the second one is definitely right now. I'm not sure if you all in your areas have a community college. We have an amazing Austin community college that a lot of the young people in Austin and the neighboring cities are a part of, right? And so one of the things that I want to do is make sure that Pflugerville becomes part of that school district. And that what does that mean? What is the benefit? When you're not part of the Austin Community College School District, you have to pay a tax, not a tax. I think I need to make sure I don't use that word. You got to pay more. Literally, you pay more by $201 more than somebody who's in the school in that district per credit hour. I'll
Okay.
repeat that. Per $201 per credit hour. So when you're doing that calculation, they actually have 4-year degrees there, and that 4-year degree would count by like we did 12 hours per semester of 8 semesters. That'll be about $19,000 that they overpay versus somebody right here in a neighboring city like Round Rock, who's in district. That's crazy. And I'm totally supportive of that 2-year degree. They'll be overpaying by like 9,500. We're constantly talking about we want to be in a position to help people remove some of the college debt, but at the same token, we're our community is overlooking the one thing that we can help our young people. That in itself is helping. And so what a lot of times students are having to do is say that they live in a whole different city so they can get the discount. I mean, it's crazy. Austin Community College actually has grown enrollment by leaps and bounds. I think they're actually competing with the enrollment of University of Texas. That's how many students they
Wow.
got. It's a huge.
Now, do you have a website?
Yeah, Gregory-Harrington.com. So
Hyphen or
Gregory-Harrington.com.
underscore?
Yeah, not underscore, Gregory dash
Gregory dash
dash
Harrison at.
dash. So Gregory-Harrington.com. So Gregory-Harrington.com.
Okay, so for those of you who are in the Pflugerville, who live in the Pflugerville area, or know folks who are in the Pflugerville area, you can contact Gregory Harrington to find out more about his campaign at greg at bpositivebloodtype.com, 512-799-0093, or go to his website to find out more about what problems he's going to solve by going to gregory-harrington.com. That is www.gregory-harrington.com. And the brother's up and coming, so y'all definitely watch out for him. Now, you also have a book that just
Yeah,
came out.
man. Hey, by the way, going to that Gregory-Harrington, Gregory Harrington is taken already. There's a
Okay,
violinist. That's
okay,
not me. Matter of
okay,
fact, maybe at my inauguration when I win, maybe I need to bring that Gregory Harrington to play the violin at my inauguration when I win
okay.
mayor.
That
But
sounds good.
so that's why I had to put the hyphen in there. But
Gotcha,
the dash talking about
gotcha.
what's happening before life and when you end. So that's what I'm here. Maybe we can put a spin on it. But either
All
way,
right. And then last, a couple of minutes on your book before we go into our story. So tell us about your book that has just been released.
man, the name of the book is called SQ, so S to the third power, Softer Side of Success. Soft skills ain't so soft.
And you've talked about that on our show before.
Yep, soft skills ain't so soft. So the main piece is I give 10 imperative success practices for the workforce. Just the genesis came from all the time I speak, and a lot of people say, "Dude, can I get your slides?" I usually don't share my slides when I'm presenting, and the reason why is like honestly, I'm a minimalist on my slides. My slides give a little picture, but you don't know the story behind the slides. So me giving you my slides almost useless. To be
So
honest.
what can someone expect to learn after
So
reading?
that's exactly it. So this book is a leave behind for all those who are looking to have thoughts on how to be successful in the workforce, how to do just the simple stuff like promote, how to do a one-on-one, do's and don'ts of what you do, how to network. I have an acronym that I feel I trademarked, and it's called NINE, networking in natural environments. That's really huge. And essentially, I'll give the nugget. One of the cool things about natural environments is that you don't have to prove what's on your resume. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you and I have never worked. This is a perfect example. You and I have never worked together except through the fraternity, right? I've never had to prove what's on my resume, right? But look at me on this call with you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's a huge platform that I have, and you asked me to co-host with you today. So I'm always going to say yes to you. I was actually thinking about it before. So yeah, definitely make sure you go to my website. I can put B positive blood type. I can send more information to that bpositivebloodtype.com/softest side of success. I can put that better on the website too. But yeah, we're going to definitely have a good time tonight talking about a lot of different things that's going on. But definitely want to I thank you for the opportunity to give me a unashamed plug. Unashamed,
Hey man,
unashamed plug,
Jimmy does it all the time. He calls it a shameless plug.
unashamed,
You call
unashamed,
he calls it shameless. You say unashamed. So
unashamed,
I ain't mad at
unashamed.
you.
Hey,
All right,
last time I checked, the closed mouth don't get fed.
amen.
You know
All
what I
right,
mean?
we got a couple of folks in the chat line we want to shout out. Ms. Tanya Hall, I want to thank you for joining us this evening. One of our most loyal, most loyal followers, Ms. Tanya Hall and Audrey, cousin Audrey K. I'm going to say 1A and 1B, and there is no 1A, 1B. We just got to call it two of our most loyal followers, Ms. Tanya Hall and cousin Audrey K. I want to thank you for joining us. We got Ms. Marion Square. Thank you for joining us this evening as well. Got the counselor, cousin Elisa Patterson as well. She lived in the Austin area. She's actually a little bit south of Austin right now. And I think she was referring to your comments on the public transportation. She said, nope, that happened to me. My car was in the shop for 4 months. Insurance only covers 30 days. Only covers 30 days. So, hey, that's what she's saying.
Yes, I appreciate that, Elisa.
And we got Miss Chastity on there as well. It's been about 2 or 3 years since we've seen Miss Chastity, so we want to thank her. She's out there trying to keep those kids in line in the school district. So we want to thank her for joining us as well. So let's go ahead and get down to the stories, folks. There's a lot been going on. I hope we get a chance to cover everything, but if not, we'll get it to next week. For those of you who've been watching the news today, you know that it has been another very sad situation. Another one in Minnesota. It looks like, as the story is unfolded, an 8 and a 10-year-old child that was sitting in the pews of a church were killed by a mass shooter who opened fire through the windows of a church at a Catholic school in Minneapolis. 17 others were injured during the mass shooting that marked the first week of school. Very, very sad story. Police Chief Brian O'Hara has been providing updates. 14 of the injured victims were children between the age of 6 and 15, and then there were 3 adults who were shot. They were all parishioners who were in their 80s, senior citizens. All the injured are expected to live or survive. However, the shooter is believed to have died of a self-inflicted wound, and the FBI has identified the shooter as a 23-year-old Robin Westman. Doesn't say exactly where they're from. Of course, they are doing more investigation into the details of the shooter. The suspect was armed with a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. Police believe the shots were fired from all 3 weapons. All three weapons were purchased legally and recently, from what the police said. The FBI is investigating the shooting as an act of domestic terrorism and as a hate crime targeting Catholics, but the police said that there is no known motive of the shooting, and so I am pretty sure that as we get further into the next few weeks, that we'll find out what's going on. Very, very sad situation.
Very
We
sad.
every year we're having to talk about mass shootings, assault style rifles, all of those different types of things, and of course, it's a political hot potato because a lot of folks, whether you're on the left or right side, are going back and forth. As even Jimmy and I do on this show, as a right to bear arms, which is a constitutional right. However, we've seen shootings in schools, in churches. Of course, we talked about and reported on the brothers and sisters in South Carolina who were murdered by an animal. Grocery stores, we talked about, of course, the store in Buffalo, New York. So I mean, it just never ends. And for what it's worth, I believe there have already been 286 mass shootings in the United States this year. This just happened to get some attention for whatever it is, but there have been a lot more.
And my biggest issue is that it's like, how can we stop this from happening? It's like you end up looking at so many different things that make you vulnerable. You know what I mean? You go into regular stuff, the grocery store, church. These guys are praising God in their worship service, right? You go to school where you're thinking it's just a normal situation trying to get your education on. You're trying to get your education. And in this situation, you end up lose your life for doing absolutely nothing wrong.
It's
And and
and
I
it's
and I think that the piece that breaks my heart is the fact that, just like a flip of a dime is transformed. You know what I mean? What made and then and I think sometimes we end up thinking about what is this dude going through, but a part of me has no sympathy for him. You know, as a matter of fact, you think about you try to be in a forgiving spirit, but that's a tough place to be, man.
right.
That's
I mean, again, just like the murderer who shot the folks in South Carolina in a church worship. And the sad thing about that one, they, in a Christianly spirit, invited him into the church. And then
yes,
he shot him. 23 something folks, primarily senior citizens, shot one of the ministers in this case. You're talking about little kids praying in church. And this,
mind their own business.
exactly, minding their own business. So
Mind their own business.
my dad always tells me to be careful at every place I go. And you don't need to do this, you don't need to go here. I was like, look, Pop, they're killing folks in schools. They're killing folks in churches. And if there are two places that you should be safe, it should be in a school and in a church.
In the church.
Not exactly, but we unfortunately also live in a country that embraces a culture of violence, in my opinion, death and destruction. And as a result of that, you're going to have this. There are conversations to be had about mental health. There are conversations to be had about mental health. There are conversations to be had about access to weapons. Um, and I mean, there are both sides of this. That there's a noise. You hear that noise? Great.
I don't hear any noise right now.
Okay. All right. There was a noise. Anyway, all that being said, some believe that the more guns that you have, the less violence that you have. I don't quite see that argument, but this is a very situation. Our condolences go out to those who lost those two children, for those who've been injured. The culture of violence in this country is endemic, and that was because if you look at the history books, this country was built on the blood of enslavement and violence from the beginning. And so I don't know that you're able to divorce or separate yourself from violence in this country because it is not the political will to those who represent us at the state and the federal level to tone down access to guns. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying that no one should own one to be able to protect their home, but when it comes to assault style weapons, rifles, and or weapons that were meant for war, I don't know.
What happens in these situations is like you're trying to give people the right to bear arms, but you end up making it too easy for people to get guns. Especially you said this situation, he actually was he got the gun legally. But then how can you do it? I'll give you a perfect example. We now have pastors who are carrying a gun in the pulpit.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, I think I almost can confirm this, but I recently feel like I saw one of my ministers of music with a gun on his waist
Yep.
while he's praising God. He still got a pistol on his hip, and it's unfortunate. Like even I know for a fact that even in our church service, we have security, police officers there every week, but I still kind of like think about where's a vulnerability at? Where can somebody peek through the window and see a gap? Are they stalking us out? And we shouldn't have to go through that.
Yep.
We're in a different day and different age, and especially when it's young people. But where's the solution? That's the piece that blows my mind. Where's the solution? There's so much vulnerabilities in our lives, and it's just what you said is spot on. You definitely should be safe at church and at school.
And in this case, this dude, chick, whatever it is, there's a story behind that that I won't get into. Shot through the windows of the church.
Yep.
And shot. So he wasn't even, from what I'm gathering, I don't know thus far that he was inside of the church. Inside of the church, shot through the windows of the church. It is very difficult to defend against that. He did not have assault-style rifles, but obviously he should not have had access to rifles. Clearly, he had mental health issues.
Yep.
If he's going to go in and kill senior citizens and children in a church, I don't know what you do to that. I mean, what could you have done? Possibly, of course, someone who is responsible for the church could have had, of course, a firearm to make sure they could protect them. But ultimately, when someone's shooting through the windows of a church to kill little children and senior citizens, it's very difficult to protect against that. For those of you who you have a family, or even if you don't, obviously you need to be able to protect yourself in a country that glamorizes violence and weapons. Then you have to be able to protect yourself. You really have no other option. It is just unfortunate that we are there and have always been there.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like having guns is such a huge thing. I think there's a model in some other countries that may make sense. I mean, I'm not the one that support just everybody having guns all wild, all willy nilly. But the reality of it all, we're American. Like
Yep.
you go to some other countries, and they like some thriving countries, and some just simply don't allow people to have guns.
Right. And the
Um,
reality of
like
it is,
some
you're correct.
states
You're correct.
don't even allow guns to have within the United States don't have allow people to have guns, and so some of those may be beneficial. But the reality of it all, if you want a gun, you could definitely get
And
one.
violence is as American as apple pie.
Yeah, and I hate it. I
Yep.
absolutely hate it. Absolutely.
Okay, I've got a couple of comments in here. Marion Square says the shooter's mom worked at a Catholic school. That's interesting.
Yep.
And that was in the New York Post. The mother worked at a Catholic school. All that being said, we want to, of course, send our condolences to those
Yes.
who were impacted by this directly and or indirectly, especially for those who lost their children,
Yep.
lost their future, lost a part of their heart that they will never get back.
The parishioners of the church that had experienced it have a component of PTSD that they'll never overcome.
Yep.
Just think about that. And then on top of that, there's a whole lot of shout out to me and prayers go out to these guys because sometimes there's even a survivor's remorse. I was looking at that picture that you showed of the gentleman on the steps,
Yes.
and and I I could put money in and say that this guy's like thinking to himself, what could I have done
Right.
differently? And unfortunately, it's out of your hands, my guy. So I pray for them and their healing during this crazy, crazy time. You don't supposed to have those kind of conversations whenever are healthy and well and you
Gotcha.
just in
All right,
church.
let's get to
So
our next story. This is one that's been pretty interesting. I'm pretty sure that folks have probably heard about this over the last few weeks or so, Cracker Barrel, the restaurant chain Cracker Barrel, recently abandoned plans to adopt a new, what they considered more modern logo following uh, a major backlash.
I'm going.
Okay,
I'm gonna jump
in the
on
new
this.
version,
Come on now. I'm gonna jump on this. First of
this
all,
is
that
the
new
old
logo
version
boring.
of the logo. This
I
is the
love
old
that one.
version of the logo, folks. But the newer version of the logo, which was unveiled along with a new
Boring,
menu on the 19th of August, removed the image of the old
boring.
man sitting in a chair and leaning against a barrel, of course, this one, known as the old timer, and replaced it with the emblem featuring only.
What did it say, Uncle Herschel? I think that's his name,
I
Uncle
don't
Herschel or
know
something like
what
that.
it, I,
Hey,
it,
that's who I think it is.
it,
First of all, I'm a black
it
man
could
and I
be Uncle
love me some
WD.
Cracker
It
Barrel.
could be Uncle WD.
Hey, I'm gonna
But
repeat it one more time for everybody. I'm a black man. I love me some Cracker Barrel. I done had my daughter go there. We playing some checkers outside and rocking chairs. I enjoy it, and I'm gonna shout out. And I'm gonna shout out them because I have an RV. I have parked in the behind that thing on the multiple occasions because I can park there for free and they don't bother me. Matter of fact, they have a sign that says recreational vehicles this direction got parking. So I'm gonna show love to Cracker Barrel. But I've been going there way before I bought my RV. One, this gonna blow every person's mind, especially all my
okay,
black people on here. Every time I see that logo, I think of my black
there's a
grandfather
black. Why does
because
it
my
make you think of
grandfather
your grandfather?
because my grandfather used to sit out in the front yard in his chair with his leg crossed, and
What is
guess what
that?
he always had on? Overalls. Overalls. I don't know nothing about the barrel or what's in the barrel.
You can put it in
All
guess
I
what's in the
know,
barrel.
no, I ain't gonna assume nothing. I ain't gonna start no speculation. But all I know is I have no problem with the old logo. Once again, I think of my grandfather. Go back to the logo so we can talk about it. I wish you had them side by side
Okay,
so we
you
can
know
tell
what?
just
I
how
can do that
boring
too.
one of them
I
is.
can do that too.
There you go. You fancy
Yeah,
now.
I'm fan.
The one on the right is super boring.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That dude on the left got his leg. My grandfather used to cross his leg like that and everything.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Used to cross his leg. Matter of fact, he had a pipe while we were talking about it. He had a little pipe that he smoked out of too. So that he just don't have the pipe here, but he look like he got some overalls. He'll sit there and cross his leg, sitting out in the front yard in his chair. So that's just me. I just think the logo is boring. I think, unfortunately, the reason why I wouldn't want them to go to is because the Cracker Barrel. Somebody, I think the notion was that people, the quote unquote experts, were saying that the logo should change to be more of a
Right.
modern flair for
Exactly.
digital
And
consumption.
again,
And they weren't really talking about what the logo is racist or whatever. But Tommy, I'm gonna have to take you to Cracker Barrel,
no,
and it's gonna
bruh.
be
No,
okay.
I don't
Okay,
do no Cracker Barrel at all. I've
you
been there
should.
before. I've been there a couple
Ha-
times. It's okay.
You ain't even in the store. They got like the old fashioned candies and sodas and stuff.
Man,
You
I
don't
don't
go
do a
in for
lot of
that either.
candy, man.
Well, what about? Well, I know you like
I do like
pancakes.
pancakes, but I'm not. I've had their pancakes before. It's okay, but for what it's,
You gonna find them somewhere
we
else
call it AHA.
at Denny's. But you gonna go to
I'm a
IHOP at
AHA
Denny's,
head.
right? IHOP, International House of Pancakes for the people
Yeah,
that don't know what IHOP
yeah,
stands for.
AHA.
Yeah, come on over there. Come on over there. Hey, shout out to Cracker Barrel. I am a customer. I appreciate y'all, and I'm a black man that said it out loud. You're
I
welcome,
got
sir.
you. Well,
And I'm gonna keep on going. That logo boring. So I like the one that they have. Now I get it. There's a tweet that Trump said that he's like he should have kept it. So that's why I got so much hype. But the reality of it all, what they're really trying to do, they're trying to make a transformation because their sales were down. And since their sales were down, they brought a new CEO. That CEO that's trying to change some things, but they made some adjustments and the move that didn't match with everybody. But the
well, you
logo
know
is
what? If
fine.
sales were going down, they
The logo.
needed that. They needed to make a change someplace. And the reality of it is, maybe they need to change, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Again, I am not a Cracker Barrel.
That's what they need. They want to get a new customer. They want
No,
Tommy
sir.
Duncan to come
I'm
up
not.
in there. So what do they need to do to get Tommy
The,
Duncan up in
the
there? Say it so they can hear
ambiance
you.
reminds me of the antebellum South, and it ain't my thing. So no, sir.
Hey, that rocking chair reminds all them rocking chairs remind me of my grandparents' house. They had my grandpa's on the front porch, rocking it back and forth, and I sit there and rock with
Well,
them.
may,
So, and they were in the South. Don't get it confused.
yeah,
That's Magnolia,
yeah. In
Mississippi.
reality of it, I think they're
So,
also running up against a old generation, old school theme and ambiance, and it's really about Gen Z and millennials now and what they're looking for, and they may have to adapt to that. Some folks. Right now it's about DoorDash and Uber Eats and being able to get this stuff, and that's not where Cracker Barrel is. And so they still have some legs left from the older generation, who want to go out and eat at the restaurant and be in some antebellum South looking restaurant. That ain't me at all. But these younger folks, they got a different thing, man, and they're gonna have to adapt if they're going to survive for the next 50 years.
all I know is this much here, Tommy. It's okay to go ahead and do a DoorDash and let it come to your house. I know you want it. Where else can you just get a regular bread with cornbread and biscuits and blackberry jelly, all right there, and that's just default. I don't even think you got to pay for it. You're welcome, Tommy. I know I got your mouth
No,
watering.
no, sir.
You welcome. You
No.
welcome. You welcome. That's what I'm gonna do. I should next time I'm in Dallas, I just pick some on the way and just gonna tell you. You like, where you get these from? Well, guess what?
No, bro.
Cracker Barrel.
Can't do it. As they say, can't do it.
Ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, but
Ain't gonna do it. Well, all I know is you welcome. I'm bringing. I'm gonna introduce you to the greatness called Cracker Barrel. Me and my daughter go there. We don't go there often, but I definitely know that I have no problem with them. And I definitely, as an RV guy, I totally appreciate them making it so it's no problem. Would you say? Matter of fact, typically, whenever I go, I might spend the night in the RV, in the back of in these RV spots, and next morning when I wake up, I'm going to Under Day Restaurant, get some food. It ain't nothing. It ain't no hard. It ain't
now
hard to
let me
do at
hear if
all.
anybody else out there who's been to Cracker Barrel.
They
What
just laughing. They returned it back to the old one. That's right. They boring, Marion. Marion,
they
I see
return
you.
it
They
back to
just
the old
returned
one?
it back to the old one. They should have kept it. That's what I'm saying. They need to keep it old. Hey, I'm Antebellum South is the
Antebellum
word you
South.
use.
You-
I'm gonna help them out. I'm gonna help them out. Magnolia, Mississippi, because that's what my daddy
Ah,
Joe was. God rest his soul. God rest his soul. In the front yard, chickens and roosters and guineas running all around. He had my grandmother and grandfather had dogs and cats. So you welcome. And I could take you all, if I could take y'all straight there to my grandparents' house in Magnolia, Mississippi, where my grandfather used to sit. Only thing that picture is missing is it didn't have a pipe. My
yeah,
grandfather
and
used to
I'm
smoke
pretty
a
sure
pipe.
your
I think it was a
grandfather
square
saw a
clip.
lot of stuff in Magnolia, Mississippi that we don't want.
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
pretty
yeah,
sure
yeah,
he
yeah,
told
yeah.
you some stories.
Oh yeah,
He
he
told you some
absolutely
stories
did.
we probably don't want to know about or repeat.
Oh yeah. Plus, he's a
Oh yeah.
military guy too. So yeah. He definitely. My grandparents. Let's give a shout out to that while you're talking. I'm gonna repeat it one more time. My grandmother and my aunts and uncles desegregated the high school in Pike County, Mississippi. That's who need to be on here. And my uncles and some of my uncles and aunts are still living to talk about it. That's who I need to get on here. My Aunt Janice, my Aunt Deborah, my Uncle Lonnie, Uncle Larry.
Well, I
They're
tell you
here.
what,
So
some, some,
yeah, they can definitely tell you. That's a whole
somebody
different
came up
conversation.
with a more up to date and modern logo for Cracker Barrel that they were not willing to entertain, that I think would have brought in an entirely different generation,
Oh
a
Lord Jesus.
completely different generation of
Oh Lord
crackling.
Jesus.
There we go. There we go.
Breakfast and
There
cigar
we go.
lounge.
Breakfast and salad and cigar lounge. A lot of folks,
That is funny
hey
to
bro,
me. Oh,
I'm
that's funny.
just saying. I'm just saying. Now if you change to this, yeah, you're gonna get some more folks in there. I say you add some smothered wings.
You ain't gonna get no more
Add some
folks up in
smothered
there.
wings, some mustard greens, a couple of flavors of brown up in there. bro. Their sales are going to grow.
So now you've made them do something that they
What you mean
don't
they
do.
don't do?
It's not a liquor spot. It's not a cigar lounge. So you done got them with some brown liquor, because that crown is
Yes, sir.
brown.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, folks. For those of you out there, come on now, come on, come on. If you talking about the future,
First of all, they doing too much. But shout out to whoever created
they
this. This
still
is
got
funny.
breakfast. You talked about the breakfast food. You talked about the pancakes, and,
But
and
they
a
add the
little
cigar
flavor
lounge.
at nighttime. Cigar lounge.
Hey, for the record, these days, that may not even be a
Well,
cigar.
you know what? You may be right. If look, they got something to do it. Come on, Greg. They got something. They got something. They got revenue in the morning, and they got revenue at night.
Yeah. Now
After hours.
that picture. Now that picture makes me think of my uncle.
Come on now.
and he didn't
I
smoke
can
no
guarantee you
cigarettes.
that would bring in an entirely new and updated hip demographic that will bring in plenty money. Plenty money. These things, I'm not a
Lord have
smoker at
mercy.
all. I don't do cigars, but I know I don't know.
Is that gonna bring you into? Is that
That
gonna
ain't
bring
gonna
you in there?
me in there, but it's gonna bring a ton of other people in there.
It ain't gonna. That's the wrong
Come
direction.
on now.
That's Cracker Barrel. If you watch
Okay,
it,
folks, I want to hear it. I want to hear it from the folks.
you hear they say Audrey say she liked the old logo
Okay.
too. Thank you, Audrey.
What
Thank you so much.
do y'all think? What
Thank you
about
so
okay,
much, Audrey.
what do you
That's
think
your
about the new
cousin right
logo?
there. This is not the old. Don't
What
nobody
about
like
the new?
this.
What about the hip new logo? The hip new logo.
That
The
ain't
hip
no
new
hip new
logo.
logo. That's Black Power. You know
The
what I'm
hip new
saying?
logo. What you think about that? Just give me a shot.
They ain't do nothing but use the same color, the same color. But he leaned. Hey, he just leaned on the barrel. Now, if they had some,
He look country.
that might be a good barrel
He
of
look
wine,
country,
a
and
good
he
barrel
might
of
not even be.
whiskey.
He look country.
He just look like he from the
No,
motherland. Black Power. You got that fro. Hey,
again,
that fro nice though. You got the nice little
just
beard
saying
on there.
that bring in a whole demographic. I would go up in there if they had that to eat the food. I ain't smoking no cigars, but I might eat the food. They update the menu a little bit, put some real food up on there, some grains, some wings, some
Stop it.
yams,
Just stop it.
some
Stop
real
it.
yams, not sweet
Stop it.
potatoes, not,
Whoever made that
not,
logo,
not
shout out
sweet
to you. That's
potatoes.
funny. I did not see. By the way, everybody that's out there, y'all got to make sure that Tommy didn't tell me about that picture that he just put up there. So that made me laugh, and that's my first time seeing it. So, oh, hold up, Tony say, don't forget, Cracker Barrel is racist according to Chris Rock's mom years
I
ago in
remember
Atlanta.
that.
The whole Atlanta metro area boycotted
I
every
remember
Cracker
that.
Barrel there. To this day, no Cracker Barrels in Atlanta.
I remember
So I
that.
know a lot of
I
blacks that
remember
like
that.
those.
And that I stopped going to
Yeah.
Cracker Barrel way before that, but I do remember that.
But you ain't had no
I
reason
didn't
not to
like the
go.
environment. If something gives me
You
if
don't
I
like
feel
rocking
like Mr.
chairs?
WD gonna come out the back, I ain't no thank you.
Let me make sure I understand it one again. You don't like
No, I didn't say
rocking
rocking
chairs?
chairs. I said the ambiance. I don't like the ambiance.
What's wrong with ambiance? It's a country
It's like an
vibe.
old antebellum, so-called traditional Southern environment. No.
That's what they going for. It
That's
said it
why
on the
they
logo.
brought in the new
Old
CEO, and
country
that's
store.
why their sales have been declining because they sticking to before the 1865s.
It's just 16. It's just 16%.
That's enough. That's enough for a company.
Hey, I'm gonna go. I might have
When
to
you
go there tomorrow
consider
and
that size of a company, 16% is significant.
it's significant. That's a decent amount, but still, maybe they hadn't did it. Maybe they just simply need to do a little more marketing, and that would have made it go back up because you barely see any marketing for
All
Cracker
right. Well,
Barrel.
okay. I got a couple of. Let's see. Miss Tanya said, "Don't forget, of course, Cracker Barrel, Chris Rock's mom." Yeah, I remember that. And then cousin Audrey, I know a lot of black folks that like the old logo. I don't happen to be one of them. That's okay. Y'all can go there all y'all want to. Greg, y'all want to.
Cause you want the Black Power one.
With the smothered turkey wing. Now I want the Sweet Georgia Brown. I go to Sweet Georgia Browns. Not
Hey, for the record, I wouldn't be surprised if they
Not
tried to
cracker,
do some other turkey wings.
not
Not even
Cracker Barrel,
joking.
but Sweet Georgia brand.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised they try to do. I wouldn't be surprised they try to do the some smothered turkey wings or whatever. Because I've seen some stuff that's in there that's down home cooking, and it tastes good. I mean, where else can you really go get good biscuits?
Yeah,
All right, we
we
got
got some
some
more
more stuff.
stuff.
We
All
we
right,
got to
folks,
hurry up and go to
this
some
is
other.
the old one, and this is the proposed new one. Just saying. Just saying. All right, folks,
Hey, Cracker Barrel, don't listen to Tommy. That
let's
is
go ahead
not the
and get
right
on to our
focus
next
group.
story.
That is Tommy. Tommy is not the demographic. He ain't going. He
I've
ain't
been there
been there
before. I've
before,
been there
and
before.
he
They
ain't
ain't been
going no
back.
more.
The only reason I was there before is because it was a
So,
company event. That's the only reason I was there.
hey, don't cheat yourself. Treat yourself, America. You welcome. Go and get you some of them biscuits with the blackberry jelly. You welcome,
Okay.
America. Hey, let's go to the one next one. I
Go
want to talk
find me a
about this one.
restaurant with Big Mama in the back and a brother up in the front handling the cash register. That's the one I'm looking for.
Hey, we got them.
Okay.
I go to them too.
I'm,
You know,
I'm going to
I
them
definitely
all
go
day
to them.
long. All right, next
I
story.
go to
Next
them.
story.
Hey,
All right.
you want to talk about the
We can
cashless
talk about
bill?
that. I had another one. We can definitely talk about the cashless bill situation.
Well, well, a lot of people talk
For
about
those of you who do not know,
the administration, the White
it,
House administration, coming down and making sure they're not accepting cash for bail and insisting that because you actually are cutting that out. Well, first of all, the argument says that whenever you allow cash, you're also
let's
allowing
start
the
out with
privilege
this.
of.
The White House has 47 has signed an executive order this past Monday ending cashless bail, a move that experts say disproportionately affects folks who are poor, lower income, who don't have a lot of change. Their change is kind of strange and their money is kind of funny. The executive order will effectively increase pretrial detention for low-income defendants, especially African Americans, for what they say recently enacted reforms in cities like New York and Illinois that have reduced or eliminated bail for nonviolent offenses to prevent people from being jailed solely for being poor is also at risk. The White House and conservative allies argue that releasing low-level offenders without bail enables crime, despite the claim being unsupported by any real data. Studies have found no link between bail reform and increased crime. African Americans are already more likely to be held on bail and face higher bail amounts than their white co-defendants facing similar charges. We've seen that several times. The White House claims that people accused of murder are walking free due to cashless bail. That sounds like someone saying that the Haitians are eating a dog. They're eating a dog. That's what that sounds like.
So I think I want to make sure we clarify if I'm understanding it correctly. They're encouraging cashless bill and going away from cash only, so no cash, or is it
What
just
they're
the opposite?
saying is they're trying to eliminate.
People paying with cash?
They are in essence trying to technically ending cashless bail. They got to pay out of pocket. They're gonna have to pay out of pocket. Otherwise, if you got a bail, if you're on some charges, and you're able to get out on your cognizance, that's going to be going away, and you're going to have to pay some money out of pocket. Now, I already know, looking a couple of weeks ago, that almost half, but over 40% of Americans can't even afford an unexpected $400 emergency. That's 40%
Correct.
of America. And we already know,
Well,
and we
that's going to be.
already
Well,
know
that's a.
that African
This is.
Americans are overrepresented in our jails and prisons as well. And we are, of course, economically on the bottom of the totem pole economically. We're the least likely to have a home. Therefore, we are the least likely to have any equity. So there's a lot to unpack on this, but this is interesting because there are a lot of different executive orders and policies that somehow are coincidentally impacting our community.
Whenever you have, so you know, it's so interesting. I don't know if everybody you will see me always wear this
And
on my
maybe
wrist. This
Councilor
is my
Elisa,
niece, my niece
yeah,
Malika.
maybe Councilor Patterson on the line can kind of give a little bit more clarity as to what this cashless bail thing is about. But go ahead, Brother Harris.
So you know when it comes down to this personal recognizance thing, this is I don't know if you see this is a band that says in memory of Malika Smith. So Malika Smith is my niece who got
Oh
killed by a
wow.
drunk driver,
Sorry to
right?
hear.
And so in the midst of that journey, we had the trial for the drunk driver. I didn't even know that there was a thing called personal recognizance. So he was able to get out on he was able to get out of jail without paying any bail. So if that's the thing,
I would say
that's a
that,
serious one. Now
but the thing
I'm
about it is, I would agree with you. Now, this is one thing we're talking about, and there are some nuances to that because we're talking about violent versus non-violent crimes. Because in most cases,
yeah, the nonviolent. I
violent
definitely am
offenders,
against that.
like murder suspects, in a situation where you have a homicide, they're not eligible for release without a judicial review. So a judge would have to say, you know, no, you got to stay in jail. But for nonviolent offenders, like petty crime, that type of thing,
Yeah, it's definitely going to have a disparate impact to a lot of us. Now, I think what's going on in this scenario is right now with the president coming in right now, he's pushing against all the crime within the United States itself, and I think this is his attempt to try to go hard in the paint with that. Now, I'm definitely the one. Like when people talk about they going to jail for having just a joint on them,
they would
that need
be
to be
impacted
gone
by
away with.
this. They would be
That need
impacted
to
by
be
this.
gone away with. And so you end up having a whole case because you got a joint career. I'm not. I don't drink. I don't smoke. But I totally support legalization of marijuana. You know what I mean? And the truth be told, a lot of the guys who actually are selling weed illegally, they're mad because now they got to go through the
And
steps
it's
to
not
sell
cheap.
it legally,
It is
and it's
extremely
expensive.
expensive.
It's expensive to get all the rules and follow the rules, get you a legitimate spot where you can raise the weed, grow the weed and have your own.
There are a
It's
lot of
it's a lot, and so a lot of them are still doing it. But it's not just that kind. Like somebody who having a fight and that's violent, but if it's a first time offense, then that's a whole different conversation about why they got to spend time in jail on and personal recognizance could
right.
get them out. So things like that. Now, don't get it confused. If you
Well,
constantly doing
agree.
this,
Honestly,
I mean, after so long, you got to grow up. I mean, I get it for people that don't have a lot of priors, but if you got
oh yeah,
constant priors, man,
absolutely.
I can't even coast. I mean, I'm trying to be supportive of you, but dude,
Yeah.
it got to be crazy. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to like learn and grow up a little bit and stop breaking the law to that level. But don't get it confused. The law on some stuff just simply need to be changed, like the amount of marijuana that you have and can consume and can't consume and
Let's
whatnot.
go ahead
So
and move forward to
yeah,
our
I
next thing.
totally understand.
We got a few minutes left. A quick follow up to a story we have been kind of talking on and off on the show about, and of course that is the Target boycott. So it looks like, of course, this last week actually the CEO of Target, Brian Cornell, stepped down, or he will be stepping down in February. And then you have an insider that will be taking over Target. Of course, what we've been following is the boycott of Target by several different organizations, basically saying stop shopping at Target. And it basically is saying, look, 2020, after the public murder of George Floyd, Target promised, committed to investing in one, helping to grow more businesses within the black community and to hire more African Americans within higher level roles within the organization. Just like a lot of companies, they were more specific. They are in Minneapolis, or they are in Minnesota, which of course where George Floyd was when he was murdered. And so, of course, this January, you know, I can't say they made a ton of progress, but they decided to completely pull back, like Amazon, like Walmart, on what they consider to be their DEI initiatives. And that was primarily because who was elected into office at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And so these folks said, now look, a deal is a deal. So since you are reneging on us, we're going to renege on you. And we're going to stop shopping with you because, you know what, we have money too, and we spend a ton of it. We are, in my opinion, the most prolific maybe undisciplined, but most prolific spenders probably in the history of humankind. Some people estimate somewhere close to $2.1 trillion in economic spending potential. But they are now saying that they are not satisfied because, of course, Target still has not followed through on their commitments. And I'm pretty sure Target is saying, you know what? Peace to y'all, because at the end of the day, we know the guy at the 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue is going to make it a heck of a lot harder on us. But their sales have declined, their market share has declined, and they're trying to figure out how to get themselves out of this hole.
So I think, when it comes down to the change of the guard, was that two things. One, is a result of the boycott. That's the first question.
No one, I mean, that, I'm sure that
Let's
I am
be
sure that had an
100% with
impact.
it. If your sales are declining, is it because of the boycott, or is it other stuff that
They,
has
okay,
happened? And so I just want to
that's
be
true.
realistic
That's true.
on
And
business
I'm
and
pretty
how
sure
business
that
works.
was a part
You know
of
what I
it.
mean?
I can't say that that was the entirety of the story. Some of them are basically saying, from a branding perspective, we do know that when we look at where their market value was at the time, okay, it was soft over the last couple of years. We do know that it took a steady hit and decline in the markets, of course, after the boycott was announced because it did get a lot of traction. There are probably other factors that contributed, to their overall decline, but they definitely not doing any better. And we do know that those numbers began to decline more, of course, after this boycott started. So I'm not saying that it's solely due to the boycott, but I'm sure that had some influence when you had that volume of people who decided that their foot traffic is down. Their foot traffic is down. I
Yeah.
was never a Target person in the first place, so it.
Yeah, I was all like for me, I'll give you a perfect example. In these scenarios, my whole thing as relates to all these companies that just out the blue say we not focusing on DEI. Why would they do that? That's just my thing. From a business perspective, why would you don't have to say nothing. The reality of it all is, even if you just simply didn't do it, even if you just chose to slow down your impact to DEI, just be
Well,
quiet about it. So that's my first thing.
the reason they're not doing it is because of who's at 69%. No,
They
no,
feel
no.
like they feel like they
They
have the
they've
balls
got to kiss the ring.
to be what they
They've
wanted
got
to
to
do in
kiss
the
the
first
ring,
place.
just like just like
I don't agree
Amazon,
with that.
just like
And so,
Nvidia.
but I do want to speak on, this is the one thing that, this is not the popular view from a Walmart perspective, but I just know how Walmart treated
And
my
what was
dad.
that?
My dad is positive. It's a positive review. My dad got laid off from another job at the age, I think he was 65 at the time. And he got a job at 65 working at Walmart doing like real hard work, like in their distribution center where they lifted. And they allowed him to do it. Then he said, okay, well, I'm tired of that. And he said, well,
A
let's
softer
find you
job where
another
he's not
job.
having to. Right.
And more importantly, he's made more money at this job than he ever made at the previous one. And then he said, okay, well, I don't want to do that no more. So I said, we don't want to lose you. Let me continue to give you another job. And the job that my daddy has chose, he literally the janitorial services at Walmart.
Right.
He chose that. And instead of, okay, now he was at 5 days.
Well,
We don't want to lose you. They
I
brought
would tell
go
you
down to
this
4
much.
days.
Your father is willing to work. And at this day and age, you know this as well as I do. If you find someone who is willing to work, you're holding on them
You gonna keep
for dear life, because every industry is having a problem with what? Finding workers
trouble.
who will show up and actually work, not collect a paycheck. Every industry,
Correct.
even we talked about law enforcement, before, or jails and prisons before, from the top to the bottom, we are in a different culture. When we grew up, when our parents grew up,
Exactly.
hard work, consistency, stick with the company. This day and age is not about that, and it is hard to get folks to work. It is hard to get them to stay at work. It's hard to get them to stay there after they.
To even come to work. And the only reason I bring that story up is there was a previous time when my mom wanted to get some new floors, so she got a second job. at Walmart. Once again, Walmart. And my mom's partially blind. She's an albino, and they had her on the cash register. Now I went in there one time and I told her, say, I saw that this dude talking to her sideways, and I told him, okay, what's your goal? Your goal is these floors. I'm gonna cover your floors. So tonight your last night. So that was, but independent of that, Walmart hired my mom and my dad. Now, my dad does not have to work right now. I think, and they honor him, so they treat him so well at the store, he won't quit. But the reality of it all is like it's hard for me to fight against Walmart whenever I have
Gotcha.
this personal story
And
about my black mom,
that
my
completely
black
makes
dad.
sense. I would.
You know what I'm saying? This is real in my family. Matter of fact, while you playing, we get that 10% too. You know what I'm saying? So let's not talk about real talk at Sam's and Walmart. You know, when I'm at
will
home,
say
I
this
don't get it right
much,
here.
and I can appreciate
You know
your
what I'm
story
saying?
because it is personal. But what I can't say is this: gone are the days where we give all of these billion-dollar corporations most of our money and get nothing in return. I'm talking about reinvesting it in our communities at a macroeconomic level. They will take our money, but they unfortunately do not reinvest in our communities. And that, I believe, is the narrative that these folks who are organizing this boycott of Target were saying, you know what, we overrepresent spending in Target. And quite frankly, y'all ain't doing nothing for us. It's just like the conversation that Jimmy and I has. And he's right when he says, you know what, why are you voting for something and you're not really asking for anything in return? They're not doing anything for you. You know, it's just kind of like the wolf versus the fox. So for what it's worth, you cannot continue to give people your money and not get anything in return other than a thank you. We'll take your money.
And I think I also want to defend Target. I want to defend Target. They had a number of black business owners in Target. I would even venture to
Vendors,
say more
vendors, vendors,
than
vendors.
Walmart.
You're talking about folks who sell their products through Target? Yeah.
Through Target, in store, online. And so this is something that will be huge for somebody that's joining it. Now, don't get it confused. Some of those guys have taken their stuff out. I don't think they were kicked out. I think
Right.
they taken their stuff out just to join the boycott. And so you got to give love where love is due. I get it. When you just open your mouth and say we ain't doing DEI,
Well,
whenever you actually
for
have
them,
vendors in the store, it's like, why
it's not
say
even.
that?
It's you made a hard commitment. You made a very
Yeah, that's
you
the
made a
hard
very
commitment by saying
specific
it.
commitment about what you're going to do, and they're saying honor your commitment. It's not that you can't afford it. You
Agree,
just
agree,
decided
agree.
to pull back on your commitment, and that's what they're saying. You made a very specific commitment, and you pulled back, so you're gonna have to pay for it.
My personal thought is that simply those commitments now against them, what they signed up for is
No,
not hard to do
it isn't.
at all. It's not hard to do.
But
Just
politically, it is, of course, very unpopular because, of course, of who's at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And if you look at,
you will
no,
not say his
and
name, will you?
when you look at the executive orders, when you look at the policies, when you look at everything, it is very anti-black community. I ain't gonna even say keep people of color. I ain't gonna say DEI. When you look at the majority of his policies, his executive orders, they are very anti-black woman, and they are very anti-black community. When you look at the impact, they may not say we don't like black folk, but the results kick you right in the butt.
Oh yeah, I could co-sign on some of that because it's like I just, when you have people like Lisa Cook in the Federal Reserve of governors
Now,
coming and getting being
and
under
again,
fire.
the majority of those governors said no, we're not lowering interest rates. Why are you gonna single her out? Okay, because
Oh
the
yeah.
people he's singling
Oh, I
out,
know.
Lisa Cook, Tish James in New York, of course. Yeah,
People that's speaking against him,
most of them are black women,
and they're not the base.
right?
They're not the base.
If you look at
And
where
so
he's
I
talking
think
about, he is threatening to send federal troops. Is it just coincidental that all of them are major cities that have black mayors? I've not seen there are Democratic and Republican cities that have crime, but for some reason none of them have any threats against. They just happen to be cities with significant populations that happen to have black mayors. Is that just coincidental?
you would what you also looking at is a lot of the guys that have big black
Right, of
population.
course.
DC, he's threatening to go to Chicago.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Go to New Orleans, all these
Exactly.
chocolate cities. So at the end of the day, at the end of the day, I know those are political areas that he's pushing, and some are just unfair.
It's
That's
not
the best
unfair.
way I
It's
could
who
say
he
it.
is.
Yeah, and I think that he's almost like he's trying
He
to run
is.
for a third
He
election,
is.
and
He
it's
is.
like that ain't gonna
Bruh.
happen, dude.
He's
That ain't gonna
already
happen.
trying to figure out what's going to stick in terms of this purported.
That ain't gonna happen. You can change. My biggest issue is how is he gonna be so much of a saint right now, trying to call her on criminal charges whenever he's a convicted
Well, again,
felon.
now that but you have to remember,
A
you have to
convicted
remember,
felon, man.
the Supreme Court of the United States has already ruled that in his capacity, he cannot be prosecuted for anything. So what does he have to do?
He
What
can
I
do
mean,
whatever he want to do. He can't touch him.
exactly.
He's
So of
untouchable.
course, if you're in that position, what do you have to lose? Absolutely nothing. Just stay president. Just
Oh
stay
man,
president.
nah.
Anyway, we're about out of time, but I'm going to go ahead and make an executive decision. We're going to give a couple more minutes because with all of these stories, you and I both sports fans, and we got to spend a
We
couple of
got to go to
minutes on
one.
sports, and then we out. But we won't keep you folks too long. But for those of you,
We thought about doing the
it,
one for
we
Saints,
got to
but
do
I want to go to my best
Saints and
friend Terry
Cowboys very
Jones.
briefly, and then we out.
Well, ain't really nothing to
Okay,
talk
well,
about
y'all did,
Saints. I'm
y'all,
representing the Who Dat
y'all
Nation.
did determine who y'all starting quarterback was going to be. You know, y'all picked someone in the second round, Tyler Show, and of course, you had what is it? I'm trying to Spencer Rattler, of course. Didn't have a great season last year, but obviously has done well enough in the preseason to be named the number one quarterback.
He was
Yeah,
nice at
well,
Oklahoma.
until Caleb Williams got there. Yeah,
Yeah, he was nice. But this is what's happening. Okay, all my Saints fans, I'm gonna say this, and all I'm doing is truth telling. We won, was it 3 games, 4 games last season? We have not upgraded. I would venture to say that we've absolutely downgraded. We don't have Carr anymore. At least he was a good quarterback. We should have taken Shador.
but y'all didn't
So at
want to
least you
choose
selling
Shador.
tickets.
Y'all didn't want to. Y'all didn't want to draft Shador. Y'all.
It ain't no y'all. It was the people that's over there. Because Greg Harrison definitely wanted Shador. Definitely. And you could have got him late in the first round. Come on, man. So everything, all these 0 wins, we gonna win. The most we gonna win. I hate to say it, Saints fans, my beloved family.
3 games. Is that it? Is
If we
that it?
win three
3 games?
games,
Not even. So
if we
you
win
know
three
there's
games, I'm
17
gonna be
games
happy.
now.
Look at
I
our
know.
record from last
I
year.
know. So not
Did
even
we win
5
3 or did we
games.
win
3.
4? Hey, but the one game that we did win last year was against them Cowboys.
Yeah.
And I was in the building. So I am so ecstatic that this year when we are absolute trash, we do not play the Cowboys. Y'all are not on
Well,
our
hey
y'all are
man.
not
For
on
what
our
it's worth,
schedule.
for the Cowboys, they are just. And I am not. I would not consider myself to be.
Audrey
I
said
would
she ain't giving
not
up on the
consider
Saints.
myself a big Stephen A. fan, but he said something that's absolutely right. Just get a catch. Just give him some time. The Cowboys. Everybody's talking about we going to the Super Bowl. Oh, we're gonna do this. You know, JR and I have this conversation every year. Oh, we're gonna do it. This is the year. This is the year. And he's like, no,
They not
just give
going.
him some time, and and,
They
and
ain't got a
they
chance
will
in the
break
Super
your
Bowl.
heart. Just when you think they're gonna
They
break
ain't,
your heart.
hey, I look forward to the Cowboys downfall. That I wake up and sing the praises of the
Right.
Cowboys sucking. I don't dislike any other team
Well,
except the
I would
Cowboys.
say this. The Cowboys have been underperforming for 30 years. I believe it's about 30 years, 2025.
Yeah, they're
And
30.
the reality of it is, as
I
I
was in
have said
college.
on many occasions, until someone is in a pine box, Cowboys ain't sniffing no Super Bowl, much less a Super Bowl win. Period. And
I'm glad you had this nice little segue. Let's talk about this
okay.
segue. Oh my God. If everybody
And it
listen
ain't
to
a
the
player.
call, everybody listen to this on this message. Do yourself a favor and go watch Stephen A on YouTube interviewing Jerry Jones. Oh, this is pure entertainment. Oh my, let me give you the cliff notes. Jerry Jones say a lot of the conversation was centered around
Of
Michael
course.
Parsons, right?
That's
And
the
so
new
and
fiasco.
duly
The new
noted. No,
fiasco.
ain't no fiasco. Jerry Jones says in this conversation, I'm not the owner. I'm speaking on behalf of the general manager, which is him as well. He says, oh my God, I hate the Cowboys, but I love me some Jerry Jones. Oh, I love me some Jerry Jones. He said, it's like Michael Parsons got told no by his mama, and then went to his daddy, and his daddy said, yeah. Then came back to his mama and said, hey, daddy said I could do it. Jerry Jones said this analogy. He said that ain't gonna work here at the Cowboys. Not under me as the general manager, not in me as the owner. He went further to say, oh my God, I just love him so much. He went further to say, I let Mike Parsons sit out 3 years before I get
Just
here.
like any good slave master.
It ain't no slave master. This is business. He basically saying Michael Parsons may have asked for a trade,
We know that.
but I'm the one he
Of
got a
course.
contract with. So it don't, just because you ask for a cookie
I
don't mean
got
you
you.
get
And
the cookie.
we'll
And I salute him wholeheartedly, because we talk about how we've gotten to society where people are entitled to
entitled.
money. Michael Parsons act like he entitled to some money. No, partner, I got you under contract.
Well,
Why I gotta
why
pay
is
you?
it such a big problem to pay the best player, arguably, on their squad? And that's talking to anybody. He didn't have a problem paying Tony Romo when he still had him for a couple of years under contract.
He did the exact same
I
thing with
know that,
Dak.
but Dak wasn't Tony Romo.
He made Dak play a year before
I
he
agree with
figured it
that.
out.
He made Dak sweat it out. Dak is
The
a different dude.
most,
Is a different dude. For some reason,
the
Tony
highest
Romo
paid
didn't have no
QB.
problem getting paid. Troy Aikman back in the day didn't have a problem. Yes,
Dak
but
got more
bro,
money than both of
Emmitt
them.
Smith,
Made him sit out too. Made him miss
he
2
didn't make him.
games that
He sat
season.
out 2 games. And this is coming.
He sat out
And
2
this is
games. He didn't
coming.
get
And this
paid.
is coming
Hey,
off
but they
of a
won a
Super
Super Bowl.
Bowl.
Is that the last
That
Super Bowl they won?
dude ain't nothing but a 21st century.
I
He
love
nothing
me
but a
some Jerry
21st,
Jones.
nothing but a
Oh, I
21st
love
century
me some Jerry
plantation
Jones.
on.
There ain't no. Oh no. We ain't gonna. I can't
Otherwise,
let you slide on that one.
otherwise,
Oh no. I refuse to let you
stay in
slide on that one. This is
in
not
your
no
place,
Clint.
boy.
These boys making
Stay in your
hundreds of
place,
millions of
boy.
dollars. This analogy needs to be pressed down. They're just shock value. Everybody on YouTube University. No, ma'am, no, sir. I
Here,
will not allow you to do
here,
this statement. That's just knee jerk. This dude is paying these people millions. Let me be a slave on the
no.
Cowboys. He making crazy millionaires from the biggest one. So no, you can't say that
No,
to me. That's knee jerk.
that is
That's knee jerk.
not.
That's not
You
no
know what?
slave mentality. This is called business. I
This is
got
the
a
reason I
contract
say
with
that.
you. I ain't
This
gotta
is
pay
the
you no
reason I
extra
say
money.
that. He is very selective in how he treats his players. That's my issue. He's very selective in how he treats his players.
Because you saying your example is Tony Romo and Troy
Versus
Aikman.
Emmitt Smith.
He actually
Versus
did the
Emmitt
same
Smith.
thing with. Okay, let me fast forward the conversation. He said that Michael Parsons called him and asked him to negotiate. Michael Parsons got his personal cell phone. They
No.
negotiated, and then Jerry Jones called him back. Michael Parsons said,
No, no, no,
"I
no,
don't
no,
want
no,
you to
no,
call me."
no, 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 no,
Jerry
no.
Jones said, "This dude's about the negotiation we have.
Why?
He'll be one of the
No,
highest non
Michael
QB
Parsons has
paid."
something that's called an agent who does all that for him.
Hey, the
I'm
agent must have been
that
talking,
they
must
are
wanted some more money.
insiders. They are insiders who know more than you and I 20 times combined. Look, bro.
What you learn? That's the question. What Michael where Michael Parsons is right now without a
No,
contract, without a
exactly.
new contract.
He don't. Well, let's say
He
this.
thought
He's going to get
I'm
paid.
gonna say it out
He's going to
loud.
get paid.
I'm gonna say it out loud. Michael Parsons compared himself to Myles Garrett.
He's in that category.
He
He's in that
okay.
category. No, no,
He
no, no, no.
okay.
Now I'm not
Huh?
saying that he is Myles Garrett, but I will tell you this much: he's in that same bracket. Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt, Michael Parsons.
He's saying that just because the Cleveland Browns upgraded him, it's time for him to
He got
get
his
upgraded too.
okay. Myles Garrett got his money because you know what? Myles Garrett did decide. You know what? Trade me. If you're not gonna pay me, trade me. And the Cleveland Browns.
And Jerry Jones told him point blank, you ain't allowed to get traded unless I say I'm gonna trade you. I'm
Yeah,
so
just
glad
like
he said that.
just,
This is no different. You got a lawn man and you got a lawn person cutting your grass, and the lawn man say, "Well, I want instead of you getting this amount, I want you to go higher. You got to pay me this more month." Man, first of all, I'm like, okay, well, it's time you telling me to go shopping. You cutting grass just like the next person. I can find somebody else. He can find
bruh,
somebody else.
ain't nobody close to Michael Parsons except those the two you mentioned, Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt.
And what?
That's about it. And
All they got to do is
again,
go hunt.
what? Okay, let's be
Go
very
hunt.
clear.
Negotiation 1-on-1.
We can see what value Dak brings to the table, but without an edge
Yes,
rusher
sir.
and a defense, bruh, no thank you. Because without Micah Parsons, their defense is mediocre to damn near trash. Without Micah, because nobody has any, they have
I'm just
no
gonna go and
respect.
say he
No
only
one has
one
any
person
respect for the team.
of an 11
No
man
one has
defense.
any respect for the Cowboys as it is, and without Micah Parsons, forget
They
about it.
don't.
Forget about it.
Cowboys fans, I'm so glad Tommy is giving me this platform to say this. Cowboys fans who are in trenches about this
Of which
Michael
I'm not.
Parsons deal are y'all have way more things broken
Agreed.
than Michael
But
Parsons.
you know what? And this is
Way more. When we beat y'all last year, everybody want to throw stones in Dak. Well, last time I checked, Dak wasn't on the field when we were scoring them points on the offensive side of the ball. So where's the defense? Michael Parsons. Matter of fact, I think Michael Parsons may have been hurt that game. But
look,
so
again,
I
without
take that
Micah
dub.
Parsons,
We was blowing
everybody
y'all
blows the
out. We blew
Cowboys out
Cowboys
without
out.
Micah.
Everybody want to
What
point
you're
to
not
Dak.
saying that you should be saying is, you know what? He covers up a lot of other mess on that defense. He covers up a lot of mess on that defense.
He don't cover up enough.
He can't be 11 men, but he can be 2 or 3.
When you get a somebody like Patrick Mahomes throwing on you, when you get a Jalen Hurts being able to evaluate the field and break down the defense and a defensive minded quarterback like that, Cowboys ain't got a shot. Whether you got Michael Parsons or not, y'all are so far away from the
Oh,
Super
no,
Bowl, it's ridiculous.
look, bro.
Just come on over here and just accept it like I have
bro.
with the Saints.
I ain't defending the Cowboys. I'm on the other side.
Oak Cliff, you better stand up, Oak Cliff.
No, sir. That left in the 90s. That left in the 90s. No,
We done
that left
upgraded.
in the 90s. My support of the Cowboys left in the 90s. In the late 90s.
Matter of fact, Audrey just got this saying, I like listening to Stephen A. He has colorful personality when he
Well,
speaks
that
on
ain't
his
nothing compared to
unapologetic
that ain't compared to
face
what
to
we got here
face.
now.
Hey, ain't nothing compared to that. Hey, I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm gonna tell you, hey, like I said, man, like I said, y'all gotta go see. Y'all gonna love Jerry a little bit more. Cause Jerry was going back at Stephen A. I'm
Oh,
real.
sure, but
Jerry's entertaining to me. Jerry,
Uh,
I've been loving Jerry Jones back in the day when he said whenever Michael Irvin kept on getting caught up with cocaine, Jerry Jones said this, and it's powerful words. He said, "All news is good news."
And that's the reason the Cowboys have not won a Super Bowl since 1996.
Hey,
He's more
they
focused
ain't
on the
had no
damn
squad.
news than on winning championships, which is okay.
Who? Okay, for everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna stand up on this all day, every day. Everybody that wants to throw Dakota out, who you gonna
Who
get
we
in
talking
place of
about?
Dakota?
Dakota. Oh, Dak.
Dak.
Bro, look, I am
Who you
a
gonna
Dak
get?
Prescott fan. Now,
He's a
now the
good player.
Cowboys will squeeze every lick of talent out of a great player, and Dak coming out of college was a great player.
He
I understand
getting
he getting
paid.
paid. I don't
I will
care
pull as
about him
much as
getting
well.
paid. I don't care about him.
He
That's
got
his
paid.
money.
I want
That's his, that,
every ounce of
I'm happy for
performance
him.
and
I am happy
production
for
out of it.
him. I'm happy for his family, but that ain't got nothing to do with the price of rocks in China when they ain't sniffed a Super Bowl, much less the NFC Championship
But it
in
got
30
everything
years.
to do with playing for the Cowboys. I
That's
want my
fine.
money worth.
No, hey,
But that can't do
good
it
for
on
him,
his
good for his
own.
family,
So
good
it's
for
like
him, good for
people
his
just
family. But what
the mindset of the Cowboys fan is just crazy. Dak ain't
I
playing both
understand
sides
that.
of the ball. But
I
he the
understand.
one that got to take all the
I
heat
understand.
just because he got a big contract. CeeDee Lamb
Of
got
course,
broke
yeah,
off last season. He can't. He ain't on
I
the
understand that.
defensive side of the ball. Who's stopping him? Who's stopping Jalen Hurt?
But see,
Nobody on the
this is the thing,
Cowboys.
and I'm glad you brought that up. Because one thing you can say about the Philadelphia Eagles, and even last year with the Washington Commanders, neither of which I'm a fan of, what they do is focus on treating their players well and paying them without a bunch of damn fanfare. And what do? They win. Philadelphia it happened to run a rock last year, but see, they don't play all these.
And they've been there
They're
multiple
not trying
times
to
though. So
make
they've
all
been to
this
the Super
news
Bowl.
all the time by hanging their best players out.
The difference is they
And you know
got
what?
a bad
Philadelphia,
quarterback. They got a great quarterback.
paid their boy Jalen Hurts without all
They
the
paid him.
fanfare, without all. I'm gonna see how long I can hold out just to create some news. All they did is run a Super Bowl.
Oh, don't get it confused. I was the one singing from the mountaintops that they did Jalen
I,
Hurt
I,
wrong. Remember Jalen Hurt
I
got
remember
drafted in the
that they
second
called him a
day.
gadget. They called him a
And
gadget
I'm like,
quarterback.
let me make sure. Let me get this off my chest. Y'all may not invite me again, so
Okay,
I'm gonna
we
say
got a
all
couple
this
minutes.
for
I'll give you a
everybody
couple
that's
minutes.
out there. All them Alabama fans that was hating on Jalen Hurt, he got pushed down to the second string, didn't get no playing time when he the one that got people to the championships. And he got pulled out in that championship game and they won. Yes, good job. But he wasn't gonna play because he was
Tua,
I
Tua
forget how to pronounce
Tagovailoa.
that dude's name.
Tua, just call him
Yeah,
Tua.
him. So he went to Oklahoma. And guess what he did when he went to Oklahoma?
I'm
Took
aware
them
of
to
that.
the playoffs. And so they hating on him and
Look,
saying he got to the draft.
you
I
know
hope
what,
he flipping everybody off
I will
and
tell you
said he
this:
wasn't nothing.
J- J-
And he got the championship. He been in championship twice and
Jalen
won
Hurts,
one ring.
all he does is prove the haters wrong. That's what I love about him. All he does is stays
Love it.
quiet and he proves the haters wrong. Just like Lamar
Yep.
Jackson, who should have been a top 3 pick, but was picked the last pick in the first round. And all he did is what? Prove the haters wrong. And it looks like we may have lost Greg. I'm hoping that he will be back in a second here. But we are out of time. Well, we're actually a little bit over time, but we got a little bit passionate on the sports segment of the day. But as we give him a couple of minutes to jump back, if we don't, if you haven't done so, make sure you like this show because we've had a good time this evening. Of course, we're going to have Greg back so that we can talk a little bit more sports in the future. Of course, make sure that you share this information so you and your friends could be the most informed in your household or within your network or at work. And of course, make sure that you subscribe if you have not already done so. It is now 9:20 p.m. Central Time Zone. And if we have lost Greg for whatever reason, I want to thank Greg. Oh, looks like we got him back.
Oh yeah, we can't end at this moment. We can't end at this moment. What I did was,
You got a
let me tell
minute,
you what
brother.
happened. What happened is I thought I was over. I was watching. I was doing too much. I was wanting
Yes,
to
you
see
were.
myself
Yes, you
on.
were. You were doing too
I was
much.
wanting to see myself on YouTube while I'm on it. That's all. And so,
All right. All right, we're gonna round this out. I'm gonna let you finish out of there. We're gonna close the show out because it's about 9:20.
okay. So all my people, I appreciate y'all for allowing me to come on this great show. You know, with Tommy, brother Duncan on there. Jimmy, get better, man. I know you out there struggling with your health stuff, and I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to enjoy yourself uh, and get back healthy. So all love to you, and so forth. But the main piece is I want to be in a position to Am I on here twice now?
No, I took it off. I took one of them off. So stay there.
Okay, I got you. So long story short, short story long, I actually have had an amazing time on the show. Y'all may not know, but I've been knowing Tommy for a long time,
Very long
and I
time.
just enjoyed myself. And we do this whenever I get together with him. You know what I mean? And so I'm glad that this is just natural conversation that we have. But
Yeah.
I appreciate you for allowing me to come on as your guest host.
Hey, man,
It's been
I
fun.
appreciate you making the time.
Yeah, no problem. I'd have had a good time, man. I'd have had a good time. And I want everybody in land, in BMS land, Black Men Speak land, vote for Gregory Harrington. If you
There you
can't
go.
vote for me, if you can't vote for me, tag me and say I endorse Gregory Harrington. Go vote on my behalf if you in Pflugerville.
And
Thank you so much.
we'll get your contact information back up. Go to www.gregory-harrington.com for more information.
That's
For
right.
more
And you can
information,
donate to my campaign.
yes.
And you can donate to my campaign. I got my main things that I feel is important on there as well. So definitely make sure that you donate. You can, even if you can't put a sign in your yard that's useful, donate so I can give a sign to somebody who may not have the resources to donate. So we definitely need to get this thing done, rocking and rolling, rolling and rocking. And who that nation stand up, Cowboys. Oh, she said, artist say, put your policies out there for mayor. I do know some folks from Pflugerville. Hey, the end of the day, my top two policies is we got to bring efficient and effective public transportation to Pflugerville. And the second one is we got to help Pflugerville ISD bring Pflugerville into the Austin Community College district. This will allow young people to stop calculating debt to go to Austin Community College. The debt is so high, the price is so high, it's almost like they're going and paying out of state fees when they're just literally going around the corner to school 5 miles away. So thank you so much for the time. It's on my website, Gregory-Harrington.com. Gregory-Harrington.com. Gregory-Harrington.com.
All right, folks, we want to thank you for joining us again. Thank you, Gregory, for joining us this evening. Make sure you stay on afterwards. And good night, folks. We will see you next week. And of course, if it is Wednesday night, Gregory.
Black Men Speak.
All right. Good night, everyone.